Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The rules here as of today: gathering with anybody outside of your household is banned. All in-person restaurant dining in most of California's most populated areas is no longer allowed. Barbershops, salons, zoos, and wineries must close. Retail can remain open, but at only 20% capacity. And hotels are open, but leisure travel is no longer allowed in California. Hotels can only take reservations from essential workers or those quarantining.
Yes, how about that? Chaos, craziness, insanity. California, 33 million people under lockdown in California. It is a disaster. Doesn't look like it's getting better anytime soon. You've got people that are pissed and upset. And I know what everybody keeps saying.
We need you to hang on just a little bit longer because we've got vaccines coming. But we want as many people to be alive to get them as possible. And a lot of that's going to depend on your behavior.
That's Jerome Adams. He's a Surgeon General. Look, the reality is this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to take a while. The vaccines are going to take a while to get themselves into a position where they're in enough of the population that we see this thing really start to fade off. And it is frustrating as hell for a lot of people. You hear these small business owners, and understand these small business owners, these people are the lifeblood of our country. I think everybody thinks that everybody works for a major corporation. That's just not true. The reality is small business is the engine behind so much of this, and people are pissed. People are upset, and they're watching their world slowly but surely disappear.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today, and I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this being set up for a movie company. I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio.
It is so frustrating. You know, Garcetti, Newsom, across the country, they're canceling everything. They tell you don't go anywhere. Cancel. You can't go anywhere. You don't do this. It's nationwide. It is happening. Daniel Presti, Max Pub House or Max Public House. Guess what? Freaks out, gets pissed off. What's he do?
We just learned the general manager of Max Public House was arrested in a wild face-off. The sheriff's deputies, the local sheriff's office confirming Daniel Presti was arrested last night for the second time in days. Authorities say the bar was once again serving customers indoors last night. When sheriff's deputies tried to arrest Presti, they say he ran off, got in a car, and allegedly drove into one of the deputies. The deputy was struck and then clung onto the hood of the car while Presti kept driving. They later caught up with a 34-year-old and arrested him.
People are frustrated. They're pissed. They're angry. It's not going away, and neither is their pain. You know, the beginning of all of this, I said, look, two things. First of all, we're going to have to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, around this thing, and we really haven't done that very well. Secondly, human beings have a point where they just say, we've had enough. Human beings have a point where they say, you know what? You've done everything you possibly can. First of all, you're not even giving us a choice as human beings. Secondly, all that being said, you're going out and deciding what you're going to do with our livelihoods, and you're failing at it. People want to be left alone. But Chad, this thing is real. Nobody's saying it's not real. It's real. People know that.
We know COVID's real, but we also, followed every protocol they wanted. And to shut us down with almost no notice before the holidays, with no funding, no way of surviving it, is cruel.
Yeah, it is. It's cruel. It's ridiculous. Will there be a stimulus at some point? But does it matter? No, I don't think it does matter at this point for a lot of these people. For a lot of these businesses, none of it is going to matter. And the reason is pretty simplistic. They're not going to be around to see it. They're going to lose everything. They're going to lose it all. And it's only going to get uglier and worse, say the experts, in the next several weeks.
The reality is December and January and February are going to be rough times. I actually believe they're going to be the most difficult time in the public health history of this nation.
And that's Dr. Redfield, head of the CDC. That's what we have to look forward to. Doom and gloom. I'm here to say it's not doom and gloom. It's not. We're going to get through this thing over the next 100 days. They're expecting us to get 100 million dosages available to people. I've already told you my thoughts. I'll just reiterate them really quick again. I think the healthcare workers need them. And then from there, I think it's teachers and people like that restaurant over and business owners and people who work for them and people who work at the grocery stores, places like they need them before the elderly. They need them before that because the reason is the elderly are the elderly. Love them. They're great. Love my grandparents. They've passed away. My grandfather just died about 3 weeks ago. Nobody ever asked him, hey, do you want us to shut everything down so nobody can ever see you again? No. We need to jumpstart and get ourselves back out there. We need to push ourselves even more. We need to try to figure out how we go and flip this thing around sooner rather than later. It's going to happen, but it isn't going to happen in the time that a lot of people want. It's going to happen, but it isn't going to happen in the time that people need. Many of these people have 4 minutes of air, but it's 8 minutes to the surface. And they're probably not going to get there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. All that being said, over the weekend, Trump doesn't really seem to care much about this thing anymore. He's still out there doing what Trump's doing, which is fighting the election.
And I have to say, if I lost, I'd be a very gracious loser. If I lost, I would say I lost. And I'd go to Florida, and I'd take it easy, and I'd go around, and I'd say I did a good job. But you can't ever accept when they steal and rig and rob. Can't accept.
Did they steal? Did they rig? Did they rob? Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia, who oversaw everything. Did they steal? Did they rob? Did they take everything?
Right now, we don't see anything that would overturn, the will of the people here in Georgia.
Well, no. Are you sure? Because you should.
We always have been doing signature match. In fact, I strengthened signature match. If you filled out a paper application and that came back with a signature, we matched it then. And then we went ahead, when you send in your ballot, we matched again.
So that's 3 times. All that being said, they're still doing everything they possibly can to try to flip this thing around. Trump put a lot of pressure on the governor of Georgia to try to essentially flip this. To flip it. To flip it. It ain't happening. It isn't. People of Georgia, they've spoken. Well, Chad, how can Biden win only 17% of the counties in this country? Well, because the counties he won are the most populous counties, right? He was explaining to somebody this weekend. You ever watch a fishing tournament? It's not by how many fish you catch, because there's a limit, 5. It's how much weight. If you catch 5 fish and they weigh a pound each, that's 5 pounds. If I catch 1 fish and it weighs 6 pounds, who wins? Well, you do, because you have 6 pounds. Exactly. Go ahead. Do everything that you think you need to do. But I'm going to say this. While all this is going on, Rome is burning. People are frustrated. They're watching you go out there, and you're going out there and you're doing all of these things to try to figure out how to redo the election. And by the way, I'm for looking to all the things that I look out there, and I think there's some questions. So we answer those questions. And if I'm Biden, I'm out there saying, you know what, let's look into everything. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want everybody to understand this was not a rigged election. This was a fair election. There was no nefariousness going on. But while that's happening, still nothing. Still nothing when it comes to stimulus. Oh, are they getting closer? We'll
take the time we need, and we must get it done. And we must get it done before we leave. We cannot leave without it.
Pelosi there. No, you can't leave without it. You guys are acting like you're doing something. You're going to spend $1 trillion of other people's money to help them out while states are coming down. And by the way, the states are very culpable in this because of the way that the states have gone. If you're shutting people down and they can't survive, they can't work, they can't eat, that's on you. It's not on the federal government to bail you out every time you decide to do something like that.
Will the moratorium on evictions be extended?
We do extend that, but we also bring relief to the landlords. They're the ones holding the bag. And so we're giving relief to the landlords on the condition that the person not be evicted. We do think we get there.
We'll find out if they do or don't. But while all this is going on, Trump's still out there doing what? He's still campaigning. He's holding rallies. A lot of people are like, this is his singular mindset while everything else is happening. You're doing this. You're holding rallies. People are frustrated. They're losing everything. This virus, it's not real. You know how many of those I get a day? It's not real, Chad. Flu kills more. Flu doesn't kill more. It doesn't. And it's sure in the hell not the flu is much harder to catch than this. We have a vaccine now. Still going to take a while. I'm not going to take the vaccine. Never said you had to. I'm going to. Your choice, my choice. The beauty of America. People are frustrated, and you're starting to see it. The pushback is becoming bigger, and I said at some point, Americans and human beings have a breaking point, and that breaking point is getting closer every single day. 323-538-2423, at Chad Benson Shows, your Twitter. Tweet, text, hope you had a phenomenal weekend. Short week for me. Off Thursday, Fridays, moving to the holiday season. I was going to go see my family, and they're in California. I haven't seen my mom and my family in like 9 months, I think, 10 months. I've not seen them. I've got a new baby niece I've never met. And lo and behold, they shut everything down and our hotel canceled. So I'm not doing that. But I'm going to enjoy a little time off, a little R&R out in the middle of nowhere in my jungle that I have created with my lizards and whatnot. Car Shield's amazing. It's incredible. Make great Christmas gifts. You're not going to get stuck with another high repair bill. What does Car Shield do? It offers you affordable protection that can save you thousands for cover repairs. 24/7 roadside assistance. A rental car for free while your car's in the shop. You choose the shop. They get them paid directly. You pay a small deductible. Your car could have 5,000 or 150,000 miles on it. You may be worried about the electronics in your car. You may be worried about the actual transmission and the engine. Doesn't matter. Car Shield has you covered. And it doesn't matter where you are in the country. Maybe you've driven across country. Right? You've driven across country, and during that drive, your car breaks down. Car Shield has you covered. Plans start as low as $99 a month, and that is awesome. What's Car Shield do? It protects you and your wallet and your car. So what are you waiting for? Get coverage today. See why Car Shield's cars go farther. 800-665-2157. Mention code Benson. Saves you 10%. Oh, go to carshield.com, carshield.com. Use code Benson to save 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Yes, it did. Pearl Harbor was attacked, which led the United States declaring war on Japan. The next day, entering World War II. 2,403 United States citizens were killed. Another 1,200 were injured. 4 U.S. Navy battleships sank. Damage to 4 others. Damages to cruisers, destroyers, and the mine layer. Aircraft losses were 188 destroyed, 159 damaged. And, of course, the USS Arizona sank. It's a memorial. If you go there, it is, it's chilling. It is. It's chilling. And oddly enough, an hour or so before the attack, they were talking to some Japanese diplomats, and there was nothing that anybody they thought would happen. At least that's what they say. I think they always suspected stuff. You saw that the Americans, if you're a study of any history, did maneuver some things away from certain areas. But it was an ugly situation. And once we declared war on them, then Germany declared war on us, which essentially said, all right, it's go time. And that's exactly what happened. And the tides turned rapidly, but it was ugly. But yes, on this day, all those many years ago, we were attacked by Japan. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I know some of you are like, I asked, I said, what do you expect this week? And just a regular week, what do we expect to happen? Somebody put it perfect. More COVID and more lawsuits from the Trump administration. All that being said, Rudy Giuliani has tested positive for the coronavirus. He is in the hospital. It's at Georgetown. How many people did he have? I don't think anybody really knows, I mean, how many people he did or didn't infect. But it is it's not a shocker.
The 76-year-old former New York City mayor and President Trump's lawyer diagnosed with the coronavirus, saying he's feeling good, recovering quickly, and keeping up with everything. President Trump broke the news, tweeting, "Get better soon, Rudy. We will carry on." On Sunday morning, he was on Fox News once again, leading the president's efforts to overturn the election results.
Yeah, somebody said to me yesterday, why is this breaking news? That's a lot more different than the ice cream guy getting it. I said, well, this guy is leading up the effort to try to overturn the election. Is the ice cream guy doing that? Because if he's doing that and he gets COVID, then it would be a big story. The guy's like, okay, point taken. Just throwing it out there. I mean, this is the guy that's leading the charge to try to figure out what to do and to prove all this, nefariousness has happened so far. Lots of swings and misses, but we'll see. Apparently they're going to have a chance to look at some of those Dominion machines in Michigan. But even then, if it doesn't go that way, they'll figure out another thing to say how evil it was, or it's been swiped, or, I don't know. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
On the far left, there is a lot on that illiberal left that absolutely condescend, patronize, and are arrogant towards that other 50%. In our industry, when Trump was voted in 4 years ago, they were in denial that it was real. Even now, we're going to see if we can stabilize coming out of, looks like Biden's our guy. Well, now you've got the right that's in denial because they're saying it's fake news. And I understand they've been fed fake news. No one knows who the hell to believe, right?
Truth. Matthew McConaughey right there. Right on, right on. He's right. He's absolutely right. 100%. Condescending and arrogant. The one thing that Trump brought to the mainstream, if you will, was an understanding that flyover America, you guys have been shouting it for a long time, but nobody else really heard it. They do look down upon you. Absolutely. They look down upon you for a lot of different things. You don't have the education they think they have. You don't have arts and crafts. You have arts and crafts, but you don't have arts. You don't have restaurants everywhere. You're not she. You don't live in a big city. All of those things. You date your sisters. That's kind of the way they had it played out for a lot of people. And I always said the one thing about Trump that the left never got. You think that everybody that votes for Trump or everybody who is on the right side of the aisle, that they think that they take everything Trump says as gospel? No. Are there people out there that do? There are. But a vast majority of them, just like the fact that he pushed back, like the fact that he looked at the establishment and said, like the fact that he went And he was their whipping stick. They like that. They enjoyed that. They enjoyed all of those things. Well, why would they enjoy something like that? Because Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, and D.C. dominated. Dominated. That's where everything began, and that's where everything ends. Everybody else, you don't have a chance. So they enjoyed that. Most of the people who vote for Trump, they're not bothered that he lost. They're like, we're moving on. Are there people out there that are pissed and angry? Yes. Are there people out there who, even some people who are like, we're moving on? But yeah, I could see where there's some issues here. When you look at the metrics, how much better Trump did compared to the last time. But understand that the civil war that we're having isn't going to be hand-to-hand, face-to-face with guns. It is a civil war on the interwebs. It is a civil war of culture. Matthew McConaughey got that right. And here's something else, something we're trying to do here. But it's funny how everybody is in a world of choose a side or else.
I'll meet you in the middle. I actually think that is more of a dare right now than it's ever been. Somebody said to me the other day, oh yeah, meet you in the middle. You know it's in the middle of the road, McConaughey, yellow lines and dead armadillos. I said, let me tell you something, but I said, I'm walking down the yellow line right now, and the armadillos are running free, having a great time. I said, you know why? I said, the other two sides, the two vehicles on either side of the political aisle are so far apart, their tires aren't even on the pavement anymore. It's free over here. There's plenty of room.
He's right. You know, people always say, Chad, you don't take sides. I said, no, I take sides on issues. I just don't take a side all the time. You ask me a question about what do you feel about this? I'll tell you based on the evidence, based on the research I've done, I will give you my opinion. What you want is somebody that you choose a side. Somebody told me last week, Chad, you better choose a side. For what? What am I choosing a side for? I choose the side of America. I choose the side of truth. What are you hoping for? You know, the sad thing is I think a majority of politicians really want to do some of the things that are really right. A majority. They're worried. You got Republicans who are terrified of Trump and Trump supporters in the interwebs and how they'll be destroyed if they choose a side. You've got people on the left who are terrified of cancel culture, and if they decide to work across the aisles on something or give into the Republicans, if you will. And don't think of it as giving. Think about of giving in or settling or whatever. Think about this. Think about it as, hey, you know what? We're having some trade-offs here with other Americans who think this would be best. That's, if you think about it like that, totally different. But you have people on the left that are terrified to work across the aisle unless it's something very benign. We can all agree we like vets. That's fine. We can do something like that. But if it has something to do with anything other than something that we all go, oh yeah, we should be working on something like that, it is a no-go. And if you dare give in, hell, we're at the point. Do you remember all this stuff was going on, this, you know, with Amy Coney Barrett, and they're having the hearings. And at the end of the hearings, Lindsey Graham and Dianne Feinstein talk, and they give a hug to each other. And next thing you know, people want her gone. For what? For working with a colleague that she's known for a very long time? And the fact that she said nice things about him? On the other side, Lindsey Graham's walking in to the first session after they're back from the recess. You can't call it a recess. He sees Kamala Harris. He gives her, like, knuckles. Tells her congratulations. People are like, we need to get rid of him. Bill Barr didn't do what he was supposed to do. We need to get rid of him. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And you cannot run anything like that. We think of America as a giant corporation. Okay? And then underneath it, we've got our 50 other little shell companies. And all the other things. We're moving stuff around. But we are still, should be working together for the betterment of each other. Not everybody's going to get everything they like, but it doesn't matter. Nowadays, it's choose a side or else. And even if you feel it's right, some of it's fear out of what's the party going to do to me? And others is what's the internet going to do to me? How am I going to get destroyed on the internet when 99% of the people that are going to try to destroy me don't even live in the place that I represent? It doesn't matter.
You know, and I almost feel like it's a move to say, no, let's get aggressively centric. I dare you. It's not a recession. It's an aggressive move.
Yeah. Being centric doesn't mean you don't have centrist. Doesn't mean you don't have your beliefs. But for so many people, man, it is all or nothing. And that is a sad way to live because, you know, there's an old great saying, I'd rather be rich. I'd rather be right. Would you rather be right or would you rather be rich? I'll take rich. Many other people would love to go to their grave trying to be right all the time and being miserable. People don't want to work together. They don't want to give. They don't want to, you know, it's just a very sad situation that we live in this day and age where we look at somebody who doesn't have our political belief 100% as bad and evil. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. We're getting closer to the vaccine, which is great. More and more shutdowns. California's officially shut down. 33 million people under lockdown, if you will.
We're just days away from the start of the most monumental vaccine campaign in American history. An FDA advisory committee meets on Thursday to approve the first COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer. Shots could begin a few days after that. By the end of December, a second vaccine from Moderna is also likely to be available.
AstraZeneca and Oxford are not too far away, and there is supposed to be one or two more that are coming. They're going to be one shot. So one and done. We're going to have these shots ready to go sooner. Somebody said to me, Chad, it only took them like a year to get this. And I said, well, you got to understand something. People say, well, why can't they find something for cancer? Why can't they find something for this? There's certain things that certain things are much harder to crack. Like, think of it as a safe. Some safes are ridiculously hard to crack, almost impenetrable. Other safes are pretty easy. Safe crackers are going to be able to get into it. Given time and money and opportunity, and yeah, some of these things may come to fruition. But you also have red tape and a lot of other things. There was very little red tape. And secondly, it is a coronavirus. Coronavirus has been around for a long time. You're not unlocking something that was new. If this was brand new, there was no such thing as a coronavirus at all. This would probably take a lot longer. But there is. Now, how fast can we get out there, get it into the population if they want it? Hey, if you can do it, if you don't, it's fine too, for whatever reason.
There is no detailed plan as to how you get the vaccine out of a container into an injection syringe into somebody's arm. And it's going to be very difficult for that to be done.
There are plans, there are videos that describe how to do it because these are special conditions given the cold chain, very cold, particularly with the Pfizer vaccine. We haven't had a chance yet to sit down with the transition team and explain in detail everything that has been planned and been done. And I'm confident that together we will do the best we can.
Yeah, and here in Arizona last week, they were doing a dry run on how it works. So the refrigeration needs to be kept right around 80 below zero, give or take. And from there, it is one of those things where these refrigerators aren't massive and huge. They're much smaller. They almost look like mini pizza ovens. And it's a run. You just take it, you run with it. It goes kind of at a decent pace. But it is going to be this is the first. The next one, the Moderna one that will come after Pfizer, is a little bit different, a little bit easier to work with. And then you've got a few other ones that are coming that aren't going to need any kind of specialties whatsoever, and some that are going to be one shot, which is awesome. One shot is good, because I know us here in America, and we have a tendency to procrastinate. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from you. Rough Greens, RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Saves you big, and I'll tell you how. I've been giving my dog Doodle Rough Greens for almost a year. We're going about 9-10 months now. He's happy. He's bouncy. He runs around. He acts like a puppy. He's not a puppy. He's much older. He's got gray around his eyes and we thought he was only like 5 or 6. Turned out to be right around 10. And we've had him for a few years, and he's healthier and happier than he's ever been. And it's because of the supplement Rough Greens. We sprinkle it on his food. It brings his food to life. It's got vitamins, minerals. It's got probiotics, vegetables. It's got omega-3, 6, 9, all of these amazing nutrients and things that he's missing. And it brings his dog's food to life. What's that mean? Healthier, happier. His arthritis, virtually gone. His fatty tumors don't bother him anymore. I swear by it. So does Doodle. And Rough Greens swears by it. How much so? Well, they're going to give you a chance to try it for free. 1 month, not going to cost you a penny. All you have to do is pay for shipping. $30 bag, absolutely free. Go to roughgreens.com/Chad, ruffgreens.com/Chad to claim your $30 bag for free. Roughgreens.com/Chad. Get you that. Pay for shipping. It's yours. $30 value free. My dog swear by it. Your dog will too. Roughgreens.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
I used to be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're running my life, man! You haven't seen anything yet!
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
Isn't it true that all your lawsuits have been rejected because they're based on zero actual evidence?
Oh, you want evidence? Okay, well, today I have brought before you a dozen highly intelligent, barely intoxicated individuals who are all eyewitnesses.
Saturday Night Live. You knew when you saw this stuff last week. In some of the chaos and craziness, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that this was rife for a spoof, and it was. In particular, the lady, I think her name is Melissa Carmone, who was the blonde lady who looked a lot like Victoria Jackson, formerly of Saturday Night Live. And you thought at times it was a Saturday Night Live skit, and she was hilarious, and they played her hilariously.
I personally saw hundreds, if not thousands, of dead people vote.
You saw them?
Yeah, basically, yes. I remember because I was walking out and they were walking in. And then they gave their votes to Democrats. And then you probably did something crazy with them, didn't you?
But don't worry, they signed an affidavit.
I'm sorry, but this testimony is full of lies.
I'm not lying. I signed it after David.
And after David?
Yeah, that's correct. David signed, and then I signed right after David.
You could just play the clips from last week, and it was just all you needed. It's all you needed. Just replay some of the clips from last week, and you thought, "Wow, this is where we are. This is it right here. This is the chaos and crazy." Well, Chad, they're going to stop the steal. Hashtag stop the steal. If there was something stolen and you have evidence, you bring it forward. Remember, all of these things that are going on, all of these hearings, they're not in front of a judge. They're not being sworn in, so they're not under oath at all. Signing an affidavit, and there is nothing. They don't face imprisonment. Who's going to take them to court? Rudy Giuliani? Any of these people? No. They're not under oath. They're showing up, and they're just doing their thing. So when you have something, great. If you have something, you know what you do? You go out there and you say, we believe that we have found evidence that shows that this election was stolen from the President of the United States. We will show that in a court of law. We will follow the proper channels, and we go from there. None of that. This is run in, sit in front of a judge. You say, well, we really don't have any fraud. We're just trying to stop this thing from happening and stopping you from certifying it or sending electoral voters that will not vote for our guy. So we're doing everything we possibly can. Well, do you have any evidence of this? No, we don't. Not yet, but we think we might. Then get out of my courtroom. And that's the way that goes. But then they go outside and say, we got evidence. We got thousands upon thousands of people. If you have it, show it. If you don't, and don't show it to me, show it to the court. Show it to the court. It's the way it works. Otherwise, you're just going to get more and more people laughing.
In conclusion, I would say the defense rests, but we will never rest. Not until this election is overturned, or I get a full pardon and $10 million in cash. And if you like what you saw here today, we're having a press conference right after this at the Ritz-Carlton Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, right off I-94 between a dirty movie theater and a crematorium. Pets not only allowed, they're required.
323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. I was telling a buddy of mine here just a minute ago, cannot wait for all this crap to go away. So we can talk about fun stuff. We can talk about life, talk about a lot of other things that have to do with so much of this drama and chaos. It just gets very frustrating. I think a lot of you feel that way too. Text the program, follow us on Twitter, as well as Chad Benson Show TV on YouTube. It's Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today, and I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this being set up for a movie company. I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio.
Well, that's okay, because because who cares, right? You guys deserve, we're canceling everything. Right, Mayor Garcetti?
My message couldn't be simpler. It's time to hunker down. It's time to cancel everything. And if it isn't essential, don't do it. Don't meet up with others outside your household. Don't host a gathering. Don't attend a gathering. And following our targeted safer at home order, if you're able to stay home, stay home. It's time to cancel everything.
He's an idiot. You cancel everything. My God. People are losing everything. People are losing everything. Everything. The beginning of all of this stuff, I said, you watch what happens. Eventually, people are going to push back. You're seeing that now more and more. Second thing that's going to happen is eventually we're going to find out that it's a race. Which one's going to be worse? It was never about finding a cure. For some it was, and it became a political thing. The mask, not the mask. I'll walk around naked, hoping people spit on me because I am immune from something that's not real. Idiots. It's about other people. But common sense. That's all you need. A little common sense in this world. Which isn't as common. Should be uncommon sense. So let's use some of the uncommon sense that's available. I'd like to think my show is not full of insane people. Doesn't always work that way. I play nationwide. I'm not on. I don't know who's on before me. You'd be surprised. Some kind of conservative viewer. Never said I was conservative. You assumed, because you hear me on the radio, that I'm a conservative. Or you hear me maybe criticize the president or somebody that you love because you've sold whatever you're sold to a party, and you see, you're a crazed liberal. No, none of those things. I'm me. I'm independent. I'm real. Facts, figures, feelings. Second. It's all that matters. What are the facts? What are the figures? This thing's real. It was about slowing down the spread so the hospitals would have time to prepare. And we thought we got through it, and lo and behold, it's gotten much worse. But on top of that, what we didn't see because there was help was the economy not be destroyed. Now the economy, it is coming, by the way. January, February, March is not only going to be ugly here, but across the board. Unless something's done dramatically, you're going to see massive fallout. Housing market's going to struggle. People are losing everything. Owners of small businesses nationwide, not just restaurants, are telling everybody, it is it.
We want everybody to be safe, but we won't survive this. We're not going to survive this.
Most people feel that way at this point in time. Like I told you, I've got friends who've shut down restaurants, who've shut down a lot of different things in their businesses. And I have friends who've been able to survive through this and some who've thrived through it. We're frustrated. We are. We have a little way to go. But the reality is, even with all that being said, we're still struggling. Because we've turned everything into politics. We've turned everything into a bunch of crap. And it doesn't need to be that way. We're fighting with people over stuff that we don't need to be fighting with them over. Well, Chad, it's a mess. You're taking away my Constitution. Let me tell you about the Constitution. You go look and see in your state, health departments across the board, they have a pretty wide swath of a lot of different things that they can do. Secondly, businesses are asking you to do something. That's their business, right? So it's your business. And if it's your business and people are asking you to do something, so like I say, hey, this is my business, you got to wear a mask when you come in here, and you say no, well, then you don't come in here. I go back to it, I'll use it again. If Costco asks you on Tuesdays to wear top hat and tails, that's how you get it. You got to wear a top hat, a tail. What's that mean? You got the big jackets that have the tails that go all the way down and they split off almost like a snake tongue. Maybe a monocle and a cane, and that's the only way you get in? Guess what? It's the only way you get in. You ever gone to a bar and it's ladies' night? Ladies get in free? You don't get in free if you're a guy. You're not a lady. Identify as one. Shut up.
And so I hear community members parroting back those situations, parroting back that masks don't work, parroting back that we should work towards herd immunity, parroting back that gatherings don't result in super spreading events. And I think our job is to constantly say those are myths, they are wrong, and you can see the evidence base. This is not just the worst public health event. This is the worst event that this country will face, not just from a public health side.
Well, I mean, you can argue that at this moment in time, you go back about 100 years, we faced another one that was very, 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 very bad too. Killed a lot of people, not just here, but worldwide. Dr. Birx is right. She's right there. Listen. I'm listening. All right. I'm a little different than most. I'm by nature. I kind of enjoy doing my own thing, but I do miss my family. I haven't seen them in 9 months. I miss some of my friends that I haven't seen. Some of they live far away, but we just don't have time. I don't go to dinner. I used to like to go out once or twice a week, have a nice meal. Don't do that anymore. Haven't seen but one movie this entire year, and it was Sonic. It was okay. Took Jack. We had fun. The kids were enjoying themselves. But I haven't seen. There's things I miss. I haven't played soccer. Outside of golf, really in the summer, I haven't done a lot. And it sucks. But I also know I work with a couple of people who have compromised immune systems, and I don't want to put them in a position where they could get sick. It's about having common sense, but also being courteous to our fellow man, our fellow woman, our fellow children, fellow Americans, and everybody in between.
We have to really understand how contagious, how infectious this virus is. If you're outdoors and hugging and kissing individuals, that is a viral spreading opportunity. And it's really important at this moment in time that everyone understands also how much virus is out there. There isn't a state without increasing cases right now except Hawaii. You cannot gather without masks in any indoor or close outdoor situation.
You're just a sheep, Chad. You're just willing to do anything they ask. You're just a sheep. Look, I wear a mask because my coworkers asked me to, and the business where I reside and keep my show here, if I was in my own office and I was the only one there, I probably wouldn't be wearing a mask. When I go into businesses, I wear a mask. Are you going to get the vaccine? Yeah, I'm going to get the vaccine. I'm not afraid of getting the vaccine. Chad, you're just another one of the sheeples. You're going to get it, and then what? They're going to monitor me, right? So producer Phil and Anthony, we all go get the vaccine so they can monitor us. You don't even know, Chad. They're going to change your DNA. Let me settle down. I swear. Courtesy, common courtesy to the fellow man. We've lost out on that. Part of the fact that we turned everything into politics, we don't find any kind of middle ground. And by the way, middle ground doesn't mean you give up everything you believe in and they give up everything they believe in and you guys settle for something that sucks. No, we don't even find places where we agree anymore. We can't even meet there. That's the thing that's sad. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. I love hearing from every single one of you. We're still in a situation where, yes, the president, still the president, is pissed and angry and not giving up.
And we thought that if we could get 68 million, 67 million, that would be the end. All of our great, brilliant geniuses said you'd win. If you get 67 or 68, it's over. We got 74 million plus. And they're trying to convince us that we lost. We didn't lose. They found a lot of ballots to be nice about it. And they got rid of some, too. The 74, let me tell you, the 74 could have been even higher. He said there's no way this could have happened other than the obvious cheating or a rigged election. There's no way it could have happened.
No way it could have happened. Well, prove it. Proof. Take everything to court. Those are the things you need to do. Holding rallies. And I get it. You're trying to get people excited about the runoff that's taking place in less than a month in Georgia that matters. Loeffler and Perdue, the Democrats, they're running against. All they need to, if they win those two, boom. If Loeffler and Perdue both lose and the Democrats win, that means the Senate and the House and the presidency would be in the Democrats' hands. If one of those two Senate runoffs happen to go to the Republicans, Republicans will then have the majority in the Senate, which essentially means there's going to be a lot of bargaining power for Mitch. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And again, when it comes to all of the election stuff, if you've got something, don't tell the world, because you've been telling the world this, and you've got some people who are buying into it. Tell the powers that be at the state, which you're trying to do, and then in court. And that's going to take a while. I think micro. If there's something that's real that's out there, this is going to take a very long time, and it will not change this election. But you better start coming up with something. The difference between how I look at this is if you're trying to change this election, you're running on fumes. Time is running out. If you're thinking macro, which is much bigger, that we need to look into some of these things, that's going to take time. And it doesn't mean you find anything. It doesn't mean you won't, but it doesn't mean you will. You have every right to challenge all of these things. But when you continue to come up with nothing over and over again, and people can start to criticize you over and over again, you can't just keep screaming, these people are all cheats, when you have nothing to show otherwise. They keep winning, you keep losing. I think long term, we definitely need to look at a lot of the way that these things are done. Short term, running out of time. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet, text, Car Shield. You call this number right here. Get yourself a little car shield for yourself. 800-665-2157. You mentioned Go Benson saves you 10%. Car Shield has a plan that's right for you, for your cover repairs. A check engine light comes on, you're like, oh, God. You don't have to, oh, God, it anymore. You got this handled. Car Shield has you handled. You get 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free while your car's in the shop. You choose that shop, take it to your favorite mechanic down the street that's been servicing your family's cars for 50 years, or take it to the dealership. Doesn't matter to them. You pay a small deductible. Away you go. And that's what I love about it. It is just, it's so simple. It is so easy. So whether you're worried about the electronics in your car, maybe it's a little bit newer and that's not covered by their warranty. Or maybe your car has no warranty whatsoever and you're worried about the engine. They've got plans that are right for you. Plans start as low as $99 a month. Over 1 million drivers have been helped by CarShield. It is America's #1 auto protection company. Find out how you can drive like confidence today, like I do, knowing, guess what? If anything happens, I'm protected, my wall's protected, the car's protected. Get coverage. 800-665-2157. Mention code Benson, saves you 10%, or go to carshield.com, carshield.com. Use that code Benson to save 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
I can't take it anymore!
Well, get over it. It's time to forge a new path with your very own political cartographer, Chad.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Rudy Giuliani, trending. He's getting great care. Of course, he was hospitalized with the COVID. Logan Paul, who just won, beat Nate Robinson, and he is a YouTuber. In February, he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather is going to kill him. Although I will say it's a mismatch in size. It is a mismatch in size, because Logan is a giant person, and Floyd is not at all. More from the magical world of Google. Pearl Harbor Day is trending. Big time. And the Washington football team and Pittsburgh Steelers are trending because they play 5 o'clock today, Phil. Is that 5 o'clock Eastern?
Yeah, 5:40, something like that.
And so you got 2 Monday night football games-ish, I guess it is, because, of course, last week the Pittsburgh Steelers, who seem to have done everything correctly. So they've done everything correctly, by and large. And every week they seem to play a team that hasn't, so their team gets moved around. Last week, and the Washington football thingy-mabobbers, they've been fine. But last week they had to play the Ravens in the middle of the week. That's why this game has been moved until today. So you've got that. Head over to Twitter. Matthew McConaughey touched on that a little bit earlier. We'll do it again, talking about the ridiculousness and how the far left is basically, at times, a bunch of a-holes. Really? Yeah, they really are. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. World's largest vaccine producer applies for emergency use. Oxford AstraZeneca is applying for emergency use of their COVID vaccine. Hey, the more, the merrier, right? Are we all good with that? Like, if we have enough, I think that'd be good. And Jocelyn Benson, you don't know who she is, no relation. Armed protesters showed up outside her house in Michigan. She's the Secretary of State, shouting obscenities, threatening violence, trying to overturn the election. It only takes one idiot. Remember this. I always go back to Ping Pong Pizza, where one idiot shows up with a gun. And the next thing you know, you've got somebody doing something stupid because hashtag somebody stole the election, but not yet proven, but we just know deep down it had to have happened. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Oh, man, I tell you what. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Christmas. Put up my tree this weekend. It was awesome. Got my tree front of the house is decorated. Moved my lizards. I got bigger cages. Moved them from one side, some of the bigger ones into even bigger cages. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what the year has. And it's going to be a tough year, man. It's going to be an absolutely tough year ahead of us. And over the next 90 days, it's going to get ugly.
The reality is December and January and February are going to be rough times. I actually believe they're going to be the most difficult time in the public health history of this nation.
Yeah. We've got lots of people who are getting into the hospital. We have a lot of people that are, I talk to doctors. I talk to nurses. My show is played all over the country. Fortunate enough to have this. And I get a lot of people who will send me, pictures, and they'll send me, basically snapshots of what it looks like in their facilities at this moment in time. And I've always said, don't worry about the infections. Look at hospitals and the death rate. So you look at the hospital and you look at the death rate. The death rate isn't through the roof. It's right around, 0.3%. So above the flu, but still it's not a good situation. But it's the crushing of the hospital system that I don't think people understand. And it's how easy this thing is spread. That's the other thing that people don't understand. This thing is very, very contagious. It is. At the end of the day, though, personal responsibility from all of us is going to help go a long way. People are pissed. They're angry. They're frustrated. I totally get it. You get it. I get it. We're all there. We'd all rather be doing something else at this moment in time. We'd all rather be doing something where we enjoy ourselves, going to the movies, going to dinners without having to worry about anything, without having to worry, did I give it to grandma? Did I, we'd all like to be doing something else. But we're not there yet. We're going to get there. It's going to happen big time. At some point in time in the future, it is going to happen, and we're going to start to see this thing distributed. And remember, Trump isn't in charge of distribution. They can roll it out to the states all they want, but at the end of the day, it's about the state.
We're going to give them guidance. In some states, they're going to have to immunize their healthcare workers first. Others are going to find they get impact by vaccinating older people and people with vulnerable conditions first.
I'll say it again. I believe the vulnerable, people have compromised immune system. They're going through cancer treatment, things like that. Absolutely. I also believe healthcare workers, and I think teachers, because the trickle-down effect from having teachers back in the classroom. My son's he's 10. He was told he's not going back till at least the end of March. At that point in time, what are you doing? It's like walking to the movie with 10 minutes left. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Kids need to be in school. We need to be working. We've got to do it in a smart way. And all too often, we have done what? Ridiculous, stupid, over-the-top things about fighting with ourselves over things like mask, social distancing. It's enough. It is enough. There are other things that we should be fighting with. We should be fighting this hard to make sure that our neighbors are taken care of. 1 million people are getting food that have never gotten food in their life from government agencies or churches or place like that. Last week, on my local show, we have a big church here in Phoenix that raised $1 million and is paying for mental health sessions, 10 of them, for people who need it because of what's going on, because of COVID, the lockdown, whether it's a veteran or a single mom or a dad who's losing everything and he's doesn't matter who it is. You don't have to be a Christian. It's a church. You don't have to be. You could be. They're paying for it. They said when we did our thing and we did a replay the next day, within the first 10 minutes after it, they got 60 phone calls. 60 phone calls. Like that. And they've had hundreds since. Because people are struggling in a major way. Alcoholism's up. Suicide. Last month, suicide outpaced coronavirus in Japan. It's not just us. The world is facing this. So we can face it together, or we can fight each other and then try to face it. Which one do you think's going to work? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. What would you do?
Caleb and Buddy spent Thanksgiving lying in bed, feeling more thankful than ever.
Honestly, the only thing that I could think of was save my baby.
A tale of survival the night before a holiday. Caleb says Buddy was outside playing near his home in Grass Valley when something just didn't sound right.
And I heard a growl, looked over the hillside, and then about 75, 100 feet down, the bear was dragging him by his head, had his head in its mouth.
Yeah. So his dog Buddy, because they didn't give the name to a bear, we'll call him Ralph. So Ralph grabbed Buddy. Ralph is the bear. Buddy is the dog. By the dome, right? So Caleb, owner, human, not a dog or a bear. It's like, oh God, 350-pound bear. I don't know how they got the weight. Like the bear's like, I weigh like 260 tops. Who told you this? Still, it's a bear. Bears are big. And even when bears aren't big, people say, you had like to hug a panda bear. Like, you guys realize a panda bear's a bear, right? You just realize that. With bear claws and bear teeth. It's not a stuffed animal. It's a bear. So, Buddy the dog getting dragged by Ralph the bear, 350 pounds. He says 260. Caleb has to decide what he's going to do. Of course, Caleb, I can't allow this to happen.
I just ran down there, plowed into the bear, tackled it, and grabbed it by its throat and started hitting it in the face and eye till it let him go.
The bear ran off. Then came the desperate dash to find a vet.
My first thought was I was going to lose him.
But he needed staples, stitches.
I just stood there and watched through the window for 3.5, 4 hours.
It's all stapled right there. His eye stitched right there and right here. The side of his mouth right here, it got stitched shut. It actually had bit a hole all the way through his lip.
You asked that question, right? Like, what would you do with your favorite animal? Like, for me, if a coyote got Winston, what would I do? Well, I'd fight the coyote, I guess. Do the best I could. As best I guess I could do. I mean, I don't, there comes a point where I was like, oh, that sucks. That thing's totally going to get, that's nature. And producer Phil, what will nature do to everybody?
Nature will mess you up.
And that includes animals. That includes animals. Oh yeah. They will take it at each other and fight the hell out of each other and eat each other. I was telling the guys, the animals I have, they're captive born, so they know what life is like outside. It's like if one of them escaped, they're like, "You'll be dead in an hour." You have no idea. Like, you don't even know, like, where's food come from? I don't know. I think it's this guy, this total nature guy, brings me food. But from the moment these animals are born, and this is every animal basically that's in the wild, their whole life is eating something and trying not to be eaten by something. That's kind of what life is about. That bear saw an opportunity to have a meal. It was going to have a snack. And this dude went and fought the bear.
Buddy is making a speedy recovery, but that bear is still out there. And Caleb says it won't leave them alone. It's been back to the house several times since the attack.
It made an attack and had its food, and its food got taken from it, and it wants it back, I feel like.
Caleb rescued Buddy from a shelter a few years ago and didn't hesitate to rescue him again from a 350-pound bear.
If it was your kid, what would you do? That's my kid, and I would die for my dog.
There you go. The bear's like, oh, yeah, you want a rematch, man? Come on, let's do this. You want a rematch? Like, I was dealing with something else. Right now, I'm ready. I don't want that dog. I want you. I want you. Let's you and I go mano a mano. Toe to claw. Right now. Right now. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. I would do it. I'd run in. I'd save if I had a chance. If I, depending on what it is, right? Like I'm gonna make a split second decision based on, like, if it's your kids, of course. I have 3 dogs. I love my dogs. I don't love my dogs 350 pounds versus bear. And I'm like, oh, that bear's gonna eat that dog, but it's gonna make him sick. I know where that dog has been. I'm just saying. We all make those decisions. Just like 2 weeks ago, was that guy that ran into the little pond there to save his dog. They're just doing what's natural, people. They're just doing what's natural. Speaking of natural.
Early one morning, the sun was shining.
Bob Dylan's songwriting won him the Nobel Prize for Literature. He is selling his entire catalog now to Universal, the world's largest music label. Universal called it the most significant music publishing agreement this century, but declined to disclose the price. It is likely a record, $300 million for one artist's catalog. But consider the catalog.
Like a rolling stone. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, feel I'm knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah, that's what you get. So Bob Dylan was already worth about $200 million. You take this. He seemed to own all of his own music. There wasn't anybody he was sharing it with. He's 79. You roll that in. He's looking right around $500 million. Man, Jacob Dylan's going to have a good life. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. God, you think about how prolific of a writer he was. Sometimes you think, well, he's only got a few songs that were really like everybody knows that song. But no, you realize, no, there is tons of songs you know. Just other artists made them extremely, extremely popular in today's world. Oh, yeah. Speaking of saving animals, I saved my dog, Doodle, who I love, also from bad time. I didn't run and save it from a bear. I saved him from being adopted out to somebody who wasn't going to treat him like, the Doodle he deserves. So when I rescued Doodle, I thought he was like 6. That's kind of what they told us. And then I gave him a stupid name. We gave him a better name, Doodle. And one thing we noticed about Doodle after we had him for a year or two is he had really bad hips. And he had a little a little hitch in his giddy up. And then all of a sudden we started to notice he had little bumps and he couldn't really just do anything. He was struggling and he was getting nippy. And we thought, oh, well, guess what? Arthritis and fatty tumors. We tried everything. We didn't know what we were going to do. About 9-10 months ago, we put him on Rough Greens. Not dog food. It's a supplement for your dog's food. Sprinkle it on it. It brings your dog's food to life. Here we are about 9-10 months later. He's happy. He's healthy. He's bouncy. The only change we made was putting Rough Greens. Vitamins, minerals, vegetables, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9. It's got all of the things that your dog's food is missing. It brings your dog's food to life. We put it with the puppies. They've got it as well. They all love it, and it is amazing. I swear by it, and so does Rough Greens. Rough Greens is giving you the chance. Try a bag for free. It's a $30 value. You pay for shipping. It's yours. You get this by going to roughgreens.com/Chad. ruffgreens.com/Chad. Try it 1 month free, $30 value. You pay for shipping. It's yours. ruffgreens.com/Chad. Rough Greens, we make any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
I'm so tired. I'm exhausted.
If you're part of the politically exhausted majority, don't fear. Your time to be validated and rejuvenated is here. Wake up. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The county medical examiner and the sheriff in Hood County, southwest of Fort Worth, believe that 28-year-old Christopher Whiteley was mauled to death by a mountain lion last week. His remains were found in a wooded area, and Sheriff Roger Deeds is worried.
Now it's hunting season and all that. People need to be aware of their surroundings.
And hunters like Billy Beavers are taking it seriously.
Once I heard about this, I actually stayed in my truck last night.
But state investigators who have studied the evidence say it was not a mountain lion that killed Chris Whiteley, but they don't know who or what did.
So was it or wasn't it? Was it made to look like that? Did somebody kill him and then the mountain lion came over, took a little snack here and there to see what was up, scratch him up a little bit, say, I'm not into this? I don't know. But as we always talk about, nature in life will mess you up. It's that simple. It's nature. Nature does what nature does. Maybe it's a punishment, says Prince Harry.
It's been a universally tough year for everybody. Someone said to you right at the beginning of the pandemic, it's almost as though Mother Nature has sent us to our rooms for bad behavior, to really take a moment and think about what we've done. It certainly reminded me, as it has probably reminded all of us, how interconnected we all are, not just as people, but through nature. We take so much from her, but we rarely give anything back.
Rarely give anything back whatsoever. Yeah. Look, the earth is the earth. At some point in time, she may be done with us. little flea, shake it a little bit, away we go. We're on to something else. It's possible. Absolutely. Nature will always be the winner. That's what nature does. Was it Jeff Goldblum? Nature finds a way. Nature finds a way. I don't know if she's angry at us or if this just happens to be something. Don't know. What I do know is coronavirus is here. We're fighting amongst ourselves. We've got people who are struggling out there. And you just sit around and all you have to do is just, it's amazing. You know, you have to beg people to not be a-holes to one another. Shouldn't be that hard, right? It shouldn't be. Bill Cassidy, Republican, Louisiana.
I'm on the beach and the breeze is blowing 10 miles an hour and I'm supposed to wear a mask. It makes absolutely no difference in terms of public health for me to wear a mask. Now, I will tell you, I'll walk down the street in Washington, nobody's around me and people glare at me because I'm not wearing a mask and they're 16 feet away. So we have to have a little bit of respect for the American people.
That's it. A little bit of respect for the American people. It's common sense. I'm in a room full of 50 people I don't know. Either A, I shouldn't be in that room at this moment in time because I worry about whatever. And here's the thing. You can say, I don't believe it, it's no big deal. But if you do catch it, what ends up happening to your job? In many cases, people, they have to take time off and they may not get paid for that. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. It's common sense, which is uncommon.
If you're in a closed setting, wear your mask. If you're in a car with another person, wear your mask unless it's kind of your coronavirus bubble. If you're at a park and with your child whom you always live with and no one's around, okay, hey, common sense going. We've underestimated the common sense of the American people, and at some point they've just chunked our recommendations. I think we need to restore respect for the American people's common sense.
And by the way, I don't know if we've underestimated or overestimated Mr. Cassidy, Republican, Louisiana. I don't know if we have, because I think at times we've not given the American people choices that they deserve, and we've treated them like children. And at other times, I think we have overestimated it. It's common sense. That's all it is. Common sense. You're walking down the street, you're by yourself, you're not wearing a mask. It's beautiful outside. It's cold, whatever it is, you're fine. On a golf course, and there's nobody around you for 100 yards, you don't have to wear a mask. Just little things like that. People, though, the nuance, they just don't quite get it. They don't get it. Oh, well. Is what it is. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. What do you mean it is what it is? Well, some people just don't get it. And again, it's not about you. If it makes somebody else feel a little bit more comfortable to go out and shop and spend money in a local restaurant, even if they're just picking up something and going, it's common sense. Nobody's asking you to do it at your home. If they tell you, hey, do this at your home, say, kiss my ass. It's my house. It's my car. Stay away from me. So simple, yet so complicated. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
This surge is different than earlier surges because it's not about PPE, it's not about testing, it's really about healthcare capacity. And certain places are just being overwhelmed.
Surgeon General Jerome Adams right there. Sir, it is. It's true. Overwhelmed. Flatten the curve. People are frustrated. Businesses across the country looking up there, realizing their life that they built, the blood, their sweat, their tears, the money, the time. Remember, blood, sweat, tears, money, you can get back. Can't get back time. Cannot get back time. Lockdowns going into effect across the country. Yes, not just little lockdowns, bigger ones.
The rules here as of today: gathering with anybody outside of your household is banned. All in-person restaurant dining in most of California's most populated areas is no longer allowed. Barbershops, salons, zoos, and wineries must close. Retail can remain open, but at only 20% capacity. And hotels are open, but leisure travel is no longer allowed in California. Hotels can only take reservations from essential workers or those quarantining.
Yeah. So I was going to go see my family this week, even for a day, just to say I haven't seen them basically all year. And that is not happening. Frustration levels through the roof for everybody. And then you got small business owners. So California shut down 33 million people. Just to give you guys, first of all, fifth, sixth largest economy in the globe. Not just talking to the country, in the globe. Of all of the countries, California's economy, fifth, sixth largest. Secondly, population-wise, bigger than Australia. It's a nation unto itself. It is a nation unto itself. And then you have the fact that people are watching their livelihoods just go away. And there's nothing they could do at this moment in time to stop it. They're angry, they're pissed, they're upset, they're frustrated. It doesn't seem to be changing anything. No matter what they do, they still seem to be losing. And they have every right to be upset. They have every right to be angry.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. If you go to my page, you can see all the work I did for outdoor dining, for tables being 7 feet apart. And I come in today and I walk into my parking lot, and obviously Mayor Garcetti has approved this being set up for a movie company. I'm losing everything. Everything I own is being taken away from me. And they set up a movie company right next to my outdoor patio.
Yeah, frustrated. Business owner right there, frustrated. Going to lose everything. Other business owners realize that it's maybe the end.
We want everybody to be safe, but we won't survive this. We're not going to survive this.
So it's happening. You have over 1 million people this year, over the last few months, that are doing something they've never done before in their lives. They're going to food banks. They're going to churches. They're food insecure, whatever you want to. They never thought, if you'd have told them a year ago, this is where you're going to be 1 year from today, they would have said, yeah, nice try. That's what's going on. People are frustrated. They're pissed. They're angry, and they're starting to push back. You're seeing it. You're seeing what's going on. They're taking on their governors. At the end of the day, the shutdown isn't coming from the federal side. It's coming from the state. At the end of the day, Trump and the feds did not say, because they can't. They don't have the authority. They really don't. It is a state's thing.
And people wonder why I'm protesting and why I have had enough. They have not given us money and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. My staff cannot survive. This is dangerous. But right next to me, as a slap in my face, that's safe. Mayor Garcetti and Gavin Newsom is responsible for every single person that doesn't have unemployment, that does not have a job, and all the businesses that are going under. We need somebody to do something about this.
She is 100% right. And the states need to take more of an active role in figuring out what they're going to do. And it's not just California. Other states across the country are feeling the exact same thing. Other states across the country are seeing businesses be just destroyed and decimated. And small business is the engine of our country. Daniel Presti last week, we talked about him. Max Public House and Grill. Remember him? Pissed and angry. Why? Because they're shutting things down.
The state said, no, you can't open up. You've got a limited capacity. Close you down. So what did you then do? You gave away food and drink? Is that what happened?
We're adapting to the situation. It really is day to day. Again, we didn't go completely rogue and say rules are out the window. We are still abiding by every single safety precaution that we took before. Contact tracing logs, cleaning procedures, temperature scans, everything.
But does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They're pissed. They're angry. Every business owner I've seen that shut down, minus a few, have gone and did everything that the states have asked them to do. especially restaurants. They've gone and they've done every single, they've gone above and beyond. And it doesn't seem to matter.
And it wasn't just us. A lot of voices out there saying, I don't know what to do. And that was the whole reason why we did this, was to kind of gain attention to what needs to happen and what this industry and all small businesses, we need help. We need help. And these guys can't sit back anymore and just kick the can down the line and point fingers at other, the federal government or whoever. And you have to help. You have to help us.
Because you're the ones doing it. Trump's not ordering this. You're the one. New York, Chicago, St. Louis, Dallas, wherever you are, right? Phoenix. They're the ones that are doing it. Your governor, your mayors, they're the ones who are doing it. They are. And it's frustrating. And when you dare say, we should keep things open, we need to keep society moving forward, people are like, you hate grandma and grandpa. No. Well, why would you think that? I think here's the thing. You assume that grandma and grandpa want us to save them and give them no choice in what's going on. You assume that the elderly need to be protected in such a way. You've never asked them. And we've seen it at old folks' home across the country. OAPs, we used to call them in England, old age pensioners. But we've seen it in elderly communities across the country who are saying, you know what, I'd rather die with my grandkids around than die from loneliness. You guys aren't giving us a choice. People are frustrated. We need to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, and around this thing. These next few months are going to be trying in so many ways. And we're at the point now where it is a sprint to the finish line to see which is going to be worse. The lockdowns or the virus. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. If it's me, healthcare workers get the vaccine first, followed by teachers, and then everybody who wants it. Period. If you're young and you're able, if you're middle-aged and you're able, if you're elderly and you're able to work and get out there and contribute to society and get the engine running again to bring back a normal way of life, you need this. If you're in a home, outside of you being somebody, let's say you're sick and you've got cancer, yes, you are somebody who has a compromised immune system, absolutely. But a 92-year-old, that's a human being? Does anybody ask that human being? Hey, Grandma, should I be out there working, busting my butt, trying to do all the good things that I can do, keep our country moving? She'd probably say, yeah. He'd probably say, absolutely. Don't talk about that, though, because it makes it seem like you're putting money ahead of people. No, I'm putting people ahead of people. I'm looking at the long term. I'm going, everybody else, so many people, micro, I'm macro. I'm looking bigger picture. That's what we should be talking about. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from all of you. Trump. And
I have to say, if I lost, I'd be a very gracious loser.
Don't think so.
If I lost, I would say I lost, and I'd go to Florida, and I'd take it easy, and I'd go around, and I'd say I did a good job. But you can't ever accept when they steal and rig and rob. Can't accept it.
Can't accept it. Still waiting for it. Still waiting for that thing. The Kraken. Whatever it is. It shows that it was stolen from the president, but he's out there over the weekend again in Georgia. We're going to talk about Georgia because it is important. Somebody just tweeted, says, Chad, can you describe what's going on in Georgia and why it's important? Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I don't think it's being talked about enough. There are two races that are still to be run, and both of them are in Georgia. And it matters going forward, no matter who the president is. Right now you have Joe Biden. Some people say he's not the president-elect till the Electoral College votes for him, whatever. And you have Donald Trump, the current president. But this does matter. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Holidays are here. Legacy Box got the perfect gift for you. So it's legacy. What's your legacy? You go back and you look at all the stuff in your house, right? And you've got pictures of grandma and grandpa, and they're over here and over there. You've got stuff stuffed away in old, photo albums, and you've got some VHS tapes. Like me, I VHS tape of my father. I don't know how to get that stuff off. I don't have any 2 or 3 machines. So this is where Legacy Box come in. They take all of your old, antiquated media, and then they what? They take it, and they grow it, and they digitize it, and they put it into things that you can actually use in modern media terms. Right? Wait, what? Yeah, they put it on the cloud. They give it to you a thumb drive. They give you on a DVD. Whatever you want, they'll give it to you. So you have this nasty media. Like me, man, I got some pictures so old I can't even really see. Don't worry, they're going to touch them up. They're going to make it look great. Here's what you do. You call, boom. They send you a box. Just a box. You put all of your media in there. So VHS, beta, whatever you have, old reel-to-reel of mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, okay? You send it off to them. While all that's going on, you will have a chance to look at the process as it goes on. You can check in and see what's happening here. Oh, look where they are in the process right now. Look where they are here on the process right here. It is an amazing thing to bring that media to life, to save those memories and to bring those memories back. So they got a huge deal, the biggest deal of the year. Go to legacybox.com/Benson. $60 off, limited time right now. Won't last long. Order the kit now. Send it in whenever you're ready. Legacybox.com/Benson to save 60% while supplies last. Legacybox.com/Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Yes, indeed. Delivering the speech right there. FDR talking about what took place. We were attacked. He did that on the 8th. We were attacked the day before, Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 79 years ago today, which led the United States declaring war on Japan on the 8th, thus entering World War II. Immediately after that, the Germans declared war upon us, and we know what took place for there. We whipped some ass! But it was, people think that World War II started there was a run-up to World War II. You had Japan that was fighting with China, not really fighting, really just eviscerating them. You had a lot of different things that led up to that. And then we held on for as long as we could, trying to be as neutral as possible, yet still support. But at some point, we had to get into it. Did they know this was going to happen? There's always those conspiracies. They knew, they didn't know. But what we do know is 2,403 Americans died that day. Almost 1,200 were injured. 4 U.S. Navy battleships sunk. Another 4 damaged. It also damaged 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, 1 mine layer. 188 aircraft were destroyed, 159 damaged. And of course, the USS Arizona, you had the Oklahoma, the Utah, the Bowfin, Missouri. Think about what we've been through in less than 100 years. 100 years ago, we went through the Spanish flu. We've been through the Great Depression. We have been through World War II. We have been through the Cold War. We've also been through extreme highs. We've put a man on the moon. That happened a long time ago. People don't realize that. 28 years after Pearl Harbor, we landed a man on the moon. That's insane. We've seen technology. We've seen all of these things grow. We've seen extreme poverty crushed. Now, we're having issues right now. We are. But we'll get through this. And I think we need to remind ourselves not just about what it is to be an American, but just in general, as a human being, remind ourselves the feats that we have done. And it is amazing. It is. We will get through this, but it is going to be absolutely nasty for the next couple months. It is. And we have to learn that we need to stop fighting with one another. We need to start fighting the virus. We need to start fighting for our fellow neighbors, friends, countrymen and women. That's what we need to start fighting for as we take this thing, not with each other. But we've got two things that we're fighting about now. The virus and still an election. And we have another election that we're going to talk about, why it's important. Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue, in a runoff in Georgia for control of the Senate and why that's important. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Plus, he had nail polish on and he's suspended. Talk about that as well. Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
60 miles west of Atlanta sits Haralson County, Georgia.
You have a good day.
Here, lunch is served with the side of disbelief. Do you believe in the results here in Georgia?
No.
Who do you think won in November?
I honestly think Trump did.
For some shell-shocked supporters of the president, it's impossible to think about the upcoming January Senate runoffs with a continued deluge of misinformation.
You voted in November. How are you feeling about the runoffs?
I don't know if it's going to change anything or not. It may not.
Well, there are two runoffs in Georgia that matter. Right now, while the gap is closed in the House, Democrats still control it. As of this moment, Biden looks like he's going to be the one taking the oath. By the way, Georgia recounted again today, for those who don't know, and once again, Biden won. So, but they're going to keep doing it until, I guess, they come up with the same result over and over again. But so that would leave two of the three. So you had the presidency and the House, but what about the Senate? At this moment in time, it is undecided. And the reason for that is there are two runoffs for the Senate. Both of them out of Georgia. Kelly Loeffler versus Raphael Warnock. And David Perdue and Ossoff. Now, there was a debate yesterday this weekend between Warnock and Loeffler. There was also supposed to be a debate between Ossoff and Perdue.
There were supposed to be two debates happening in Atlanta for the Senate runoff races, but next to Democratic candidate Jon Ossoff, an empty podium.
It shows an astonishing arrogance and sense of entitlement for Georgia's senior U.S. senator to believe he shouldn't have to debate at a moment like this in our history.
Incumbent Senator David Perdue refused to participate in the debate that was sponsored by the Atlanta Press Club. Senator Kelly Loeffler and Reverend Raphael Warnock did debate.
And by the way, I agree with Ossoff there. Why aren't you there? You're less than a month away. If the Republicans split, Mitch McConnell stays leader of the Senate and the Republicans have control. If they win both, it is a dead tie. Tie goes to the runner, which happens to be the Democrat at this point in time, because who is the president of Congress? It's the vice president. So that means Kamala Harris would vote for the Democrats, breaking any gridlock if there is any. It's important. We need balance. We see what happens when we don't have balance. We both sides tend to run amok, and we don't need that. We need some balance. I like balance, right? Now, you're not always going to have perfect balance, but you want somebody who's willing to pump the brakes a little bit. You want some people who are willing to say, no, you need some of that gridlock that is good. There's good kind of gridlock. So it is important. Now, who do I think is going to win based on this right now? By the way, I believe both Republicans, when all was said and done, I don't know, after 18,000 recounts and everything, I think at the end of the day, both the Republicans were leading, but not enough to win and get the prerequisite 51% of the vote. But you also have a state right now where you've got the Republican president who's coming out saying the state is full of nothing but cheaters and it's awful. You've had Lynn Wood and, of course, the Sidney Powell released the Kraken fame. Lynn Wood came out last week and said, don't come out. Don't vote for any of these people. They don't deserve it. It is frustrating. If you're a Republican, are you going to vote? Or are you going to let the Democrats control it all?
You know, it's confusing trusting anything anymore.
That is the Republican nightmare in the upcoming Senate runoffs.
They know it was a fixed election. It was a rigged election.
That baseless claim puts the incumbent senators on the ballot in a political pickle. Listen to David Perdue try to square that circle.
Look, President Trump's very frustrated. I'm very frustrated. And we're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that whatever anomalies are uncovered in November don't happen in January. This is illogical for any Republican to think that, I'm just going to sit down and not vote and hand, as you say, the keys over to the Democrats.
But you're going to have people that are not going to do it. Reverend Warnock against Loeffler the other night.
Here we are several weeks after the election, and Kelly Loeffler continues to cast doubt on an American Democratic election.
Her response?
It's unfortunate that the focus is on a debate about who won the election when this process is still playing out, and President Trump has every right to every legal recourse.
And he's tried. He's gone out and he's done a lot of things that he thought were going to change the outcome. Today, once again, nothing has changed any of that outcome. After a third recount,
You know, if I had a chance to spend 5 minutes with every single person in Georgia that doubted the election results, I think I'd be able to win their hearts over, show them the facts and figures, separate fact from fiction. But certainly I don't have that opportunity. You know, on January 20th, Joe Biden's going to be sworn in as the 46th president, and the Constitution is still in place. This is still America. I can disagree vehemently with, you know, what I think are bad ideas. But as the lieutenant governor and as a Georgian, I'm proud that we're able to look up after 3 recounts and watch and be able to see that this election was fair.
3 recounts still didn't matter. People still won't believe it. 3 recounts. People are frustrated if you're a Republican outside of Georgia because Georgia is being keyed in on by the Democrats. And at this moment, if you told me who do I think is going to win, I would have said it would have been a 50-50 about 2 weeks ago. Now, I think at this point, if I was to put money, I think both Democrats are going to win. And partially because I think you're going to get a lot of Republicans that stay home because they don't feel it's safe to throw their vote around because they don't feel like they're going to get anything worth their while and it's going to be stolen from them. And that's not good. And I think Democrats are going to come out in full force. And what that means is Mitch won't be the leader in the Senate. Chucky Schumer will be. Which means all those things that people thought, well, you know what? They lost them in the House and the Republicans ended up, you know, holding on to the Senate. So kind of what you're going to get is gridlock. You won't get that. Potentially going to get the exact opposite. That's why this is important. That's why it is. And more Republicans out there are saying it.
Republican Buzz Brockway is a former Georgia state representative. He says Republicans are already telling him they will not vote in January.
I've had dozens of people tell me that. I do my best to try to talk them out of it, but the internet spreads things like wildfire.
What happens if the president keeps talking about a rigged election?
That hurts. That absolutely hurts because he has a very passionate group of followers, frankly, are more committed to him than they are to the Republican Party. If he were to continue with that message, that would be very hurtful to the Republican Party and to Loeffler and Perdue.
Yep. But I think that's going to happen. I absolutely do. Remember, there's a lot of people out there that are Republicans that voted for Trump. Some Democrats voted for Trump. Libertarians voted for Trump. But there are also a lot of people out there who don't care about whether or not we fix the election system a year from now or 2 years from now. They care about Trump winning this election. That's what they care about. And he's put enough doubt in people's minds that I think it's going to cause huge problems, and it's going to change the look of the Senate. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Matthew McConaughey was on a podcast. I believe, correct. That was the podcast with, what's that crazy, skinny British comedian? I always forget his damn name. One that was married to Katy Perry.
Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah, no. The long-haired one. I always forget his damn name.
Russell Brand.
I think he was on with him, talking about everything, including calling out the people in Hollywood. Remember, McConaughey's a Texas boy. He may work in Hollywood, but he's a Texas kid through and through.
On the far left, there is a lot on that illiberal left that absolutely condescend, patronize, and are arrogant towards that other 50%. In our industry, when Trump was voted in 4 years ago, they were in denial that it was real. Even now, we're going to see if we can stabilize coming out of, looks like Biden's our guy. Well, now you've got the right that's in denial because they're saying it's fake news. And I understand they've been fed fake news. No one knows who the hell to believe, right?
Absolutely true. Since Trump got into this, the one thing that he exposed, which is this elitist attitude that people in D.C., New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco had towards a good portion of America. For years, people go, it's a flyover nation. And that's the way people feel about it. Right? People in the South are back-assward. People in the center of the country are simpletons. And that, them going to church and loving the Constitution is somehow just not woke and just not enlightened enough. And Trump gave them really the mouthpiece they've always wanted. Took a, big walking stick into D.C. and he made everybody uncomfortable, including people in his own party. But at the end of the day, he's going to go away. So what does that leave? Well, McConaughey's right. My whole thing about this show, people talk about, you're not this, you're not that. I'm not picking a side. I'm for the side of truth. I'm for the side of facts. I'm for the right side, if you will, of whatever that issue is. Based on facts, not opinions. Based on facts, not feelings. Whatever that issue is, I want to know what the truth is of the issue, not how you feel it should be. I want information, not affirmation. That's what I hope that most of you seek. But McConaughey's right. And here's the other thing. To move forward in this country, to get where we want to go, the best thing that we can do is to be more like that. And to be more like that, you got to realize in life you're not going to get everything you want. You're going to have to give some stuff up. As long as you can get some of the things you want and everything you need, that's a good thing.
I'll meet you in the middle. I actually think that is more of a dare right now than it's ever been. Somebody said to me the other day, oh yeah, meet you in the middle. You know what's in the middle of the road, McConaughey? Yellow lines and dead armadillos. I said, let me tell you something, but I said, I'm walking down the yellow line right now, and the armadillos are running free, having a great time. I said, you know why? I said, the other two sides, the two vehicles on either side of the political aisle are so far apart, their tires aren't even on the pavement anymore. It's free over here. There's plenty of room.
Truth. Because everybody goes to the extremes, and that's where they live. Who is everybody? Everybody who has a bully pulpit, everybody who has an opportunity to come out and scream and yell. And what do they want to do? They want to throw everybody else out under the bus who doesn't believe what they believe. So much of that's a show, too, and that's the sad thing.
Yeah. And I almost feel like it's a move to say, no, let's get aggressively centric. I dare you. It's not a recession. It's an aggressive move.
Absolutely. And doesn't mean, here's the funny thing is, people say, oh, Chad, you're milk toast. I'm not milk toast. What I am is I'm honest. Because I get people who are pissed off at me from both sides of the aisle. And that's when I know I've struck a chord. That's when I know that I've made you uncomfortable because I've struck a chord with you. My opinions are based on facts, not feelings. These are the things that they should be. I go, I study, I read. I'm not 100% right. Sometimes I don't have all of the facts. And I get it wrong. Sometimes the facts, they're not right. Because as we find out in this day and age, it's tough. You got to search. But too many people out there live in a world of feelings only now. And they want that affirmation, not information. So the news world gives it to you because they've become an entertainment place more than anything else. You want straight, fair, and balanced news? Watch your local news. Read your local papers. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. One thing we can all agree, time is money. And trying to figure out what you're going to eat is also exhausting. HelloFresh is here. #1 meal kit in America. Gives you simple recipes, fresh, high-quality ingredients sourced directly from farmers right here in the USA, delivered to your door, contact-free in this crazy world that we live in. 23 recipes. Something for everyone to enjoy. Vegetarian, family-friendly, low-calorie options. You don't have to worry about that meal planning. No standing in front of the door going, what am I going to have? What is it going to what? It's so simple. You choose what you want. The directions are easy to follow. In about 20 to 30 minutes, they're on the table. You're eating it up, plus you're saving. Cutting food waste by 25%, portioned perfectly, and save up to 40% on groceries. You can skip the store, and that's a win. Right now, save big. Go to HelloFresh.com. Use promo code Benson. $80 off, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com. Promo code Benson for $80 off in savings and free shipping. HelloFresh.com. Promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
Oh, yes, I was bawling my eyes out because...
Clyde High School senior Trevor Wilkinson is talking about this Snapchat post. He was in tears and showing his middle finger during a bathroom break from in-school suspension. He was put in there after he showed up to school Monday with his nails polished.
Okay, they're flames.
He says he's being unfairly punished for painting his nails.
It is a complete double standard because girls are allowed to have whatever form of nails they want. And honestly, they can express themselves in whatever way they want.
Yeah. So got in school suspension. Should he have been suspended? Apparently they have a dress code or something of that nature. Was he singled out? Yeah. I mean, come on. Rock stars wear it. Just everybody needs just, oh, Chad, that guy's probably, what? Kids wearing nails polished. That bug anybody? I mean, you know, at this point in time, I mean, we're dealing with COVID, and this is the thing you guys are dealing with?
The district student handbook says for male students, makeup and nail polish are prohibited. Wilkinson started this online petition calling for the school to change the policy. So far, thousands of signatures. He wrote, I am a gay male. This is unjust and not okay.
You can express yourself in whatever way you please, and that you don't need to conform to gender norms because honestly, it's 2020 and who cares anymore?
Well, some people do, but the rules are there, so you need to have the rules changed. Now, is this a fight that I would choose if I was a teacher? I got other things to do, right? That's the way I feel. I got other things to do. What if that was your son? Well, I mean, look, rock stars wear it. By the way, straight male rock stars wear it. You know, go back in the 80s and 90s and even now. You know, Post Malone. Love me some Post Malone. He's always got crap on. I just get over it at this point. You choose sometimes the battles. But there is a rule. You should have known the rule, bro. You have to, you know, I don't think I should. Nobody's asking you to conform, but there are rules. So you change the rules. That's what you get. People on your side, and you change the rules.
According to Wilkinson, the principal of Clyde High School told him he had three options: enter into virtual learning, remove his nail polish, or
I could stay in ISS and keep my nails, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
So you're not going to remove your nail polish?
No. And so you'll be stuck in ISS until they eventually, which is in-school suspension, which is the dumbest thing. Hey, you're suspended. What does that mean? You got to come to school, and you got to work, and you got to do everything that you would normally do, but you got to do over here by yourself. Okay. Bizarre. Change the rules. You want it done. That's the rule. You follow the rule. Okay? and you get other people to get on your side. Shouldn't be that hard. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one. You have a blessed rest of your day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.